We will now be joined by our reporter Abdul Aziz Hashim, who is going to be giving us an update from Mathare, day 3 of the anti-government protests. Good afternoon, Hashim.
Well, good afternoon to you too. Indeed, we have been camping in various areas here in the capital. It all started here in Mathare. We are currently in Mathare, and of course these particular streets are very familiar given that we have seen scenes of police officers as well as protesters for the last few days combating each other. But today the script is a little bit different. We have been camping here for the last 5 hours or so. In terms of the security, it has been heightened, and the residents as well have been able to maintain peace. As you can see behind me, there is a contingent of police officers already armed to the teeth to ensure the safety of the residents. But a very interesting thing that were happening this particular morning, Nisi, is that we have seen operations in not just Mathare, in Imara Daima, in Jacaranda. They have resumed. Residents have resorted to go back to their day-to-day operations to, of course, look for what they can earn for their daily bread. This street that you're currently seeing here, those are live images. This is how it has been since morning. Business operators have been able to open. The police are here manning those businesses to ensure there is safety and of course the protection of public property. You do remember the Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki, had assured Kenyans that their property as well as their lives will be protected even if the situation arises. But we also saw instances where in Imara Daima, a handful of protesters were trying to take it to the street, but police were able to contain the situation by lobbing a few tear gas canisters. But this is not the situation that we have been able to witness in this particular area. But we have listened to what the OCS of this particular area was saying. He has called on a lot of security apparatus to come to the area just in case if there are any protesters who decided to, of course, take it to the street. You do remember also the Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki, clearly stated that today over 100 protesters were being able to be arrested, and of course they will be arraigned on Monday. The ones who will be arrested today will be arraigned on Monday. This is the current situation here in Mathare. You do remember these streets have been witnessing a lot of chaos and violence, but as to the monicum as well as to the assurances given by the Interior CS as well as the Inspector General of Police, that is Japhet Kome, all is well. In Imara Daima we have been camping for at least 2 hours or so. Of course, there were bonfires lit, but they were put out by the local enforcement. A handful of protests, not just the numbers that we used to be seeing in the capital for the last few weeks. You do remember the Azimio brigade led by the ODM leader Raila Odinga had issued a number of areas, including the Jivanji, which is in the heart of the Central Business District, Imara Daima, as well as in Kibera. Those are the hotspot areas that police have been designated to. Of course, there is the issue of the Article 37 of the Constitution, where the residents are maintaining that they have the constitutional right to voice their concern. You do remember the bone of contention between the government and the opposition. It's all about the high cost of living, and especially when it comes to the fuel prices, which were raised from the 8% to the 16% VAT. But here the traffic is moving on smoothly. People are moving up and about. It has been a joyous day for some residents who are speaking to, and of course some of the traders that also had a chance to speak to us clearly stated that they are continuing with their day-to-day operation. They say for the last 48 hours, that is on Wednesday and Thursday, they have been bleeding financially. You also do remember the Kenya Association of Manufacturers clearly stating that in a day, especially here in the capital, the country loses about 3 billion. So if the demos were to continue from the Wednesday to Friday, it means the country, which especially the capital that contributes to the gross domestic product of the country, could have lost at least 9 billion. Those are just by the estimation. Will still be camping. We have been told by the OCS as well they'll be going to Jacaranda. We have been heard as well as protesters will be heading there, and Imara Daima. Those are the areas we're currently keeping an eye on, but all is well here in Mathare. Back to you.
Thank you very much. That is Abdul Aziz Hashim with a very elaborate report on Mathare and Imara Daima and the environs. He's just saying that normalcy has returned to that particular part of this city.